If you ever wanted to shoot motion picture film, your only real option has been to hunt for decades-old gear in hopefully usable condition. Until now, at least. This is the Kodak Super 8 camera, which combines analog film capture with modern tech to make it easier than it's ever been to shoot on real 8mm film. Now, even though this camera was first announced by Kodak 7 years ago and is finally coming out now, it still basically exists in a category unto itself. A camera with modern conveniences like a digital LCD screen, modern menu system, rechargeable battery, audio capture to SD cards that also captures images to 8mm film like it's still 1968. This is honestly one of the, to use a technical term, funkiest cameras that has made its way into our studio, and there is a lot to talk about, starting with what you get in the box. The new Super 8 camera comes with a wide-angle 6mm C-mount lens in the case, along with some other swag that I'll talk about later. Now, these are small lenses that simply screw onto the mount, and the small size of the gate and mount means there's a lot of flexibility here. Filmmakers will be able to use any other C-mount prime lenses or use adapters to mount other lenses in your kit. If you have any vintage C-mount glass lying around, you can of course use that for a genuine retro feel, and often you can find used ones online for very cheap. The newness of this camera though starts with this 4-inch swiveling LCD screen that doubles as a viewfinder. This makes composing your shots much easier for those who are less experienced with shooting on film cameras. The tech behind this is actually pretty nifty. The viewfinder is based on an integrated video assist system, which means the image coming through the lens is bypassed and then projected onto a frosted ground glass, then captured with an internal CMOS camera that gets displayed on the LCD. As a result, you're actually able to see the image and compose your shots via the LCD screen even when there's no film in the camera. But note that the internal optical path does cause a visible and unchangeable texture on the viewfinder image. The camera menu system is very intuitive and well designed, and when you're actually filming, the viewfinder overview gives you a display of all of your important settings, including things like a film counter, cartridge number, frame rate, battery life, and even an integrated light meter to dial in your exposure. This light meter especially is very important because the image you see on the LCD screen will not necessarily reflect the exposure of what actually gets captured on film. So film isn't exactly what you would call the latest technology, but Kodak's rollout here makes the process of choosing and loading stocks easier than it ever was back in the day. Super 8 film is loaded via pre-wound cartridges, so there's no darkroom or loading bag required here. Each Super 8 cartridge is loaded with 50 feet of Kodak's professional film, and you can choose from 3 different Kodak Vision 3 color negative film stocks or reversal stocks like Tri-X black and white. A really cool throwback is Kodak's recently revived Ektachrome color reversal film, which you can also choose from. The camera has presets for the various film stocks, so after loading the cartridge in, all you have to do is select it from the menu, which also accounts for the ISO speed. You can then choose from 4 frame rates with crystal sync for sound possible at 24 and 25 frames per second. The other 2 are 18 frames per second for that old-fashioned film look, and 36 frames per second, which could be used for slow motion capture. Naturally, the lower your frame rate, the longer your film will last, and the higher your frame rate, the shorter it will last. The new Super 8 camera features an extended gate that allows the camera to capture more image on the film strip. In fact, it's 11% greater than traditional Super 8 cameras, and this is due to the removal of the soundtrack. Sound is instead recorded onto an SD card to be synced up later, which I'll get to in a little bit. The additional image allows for 16:9 capture with increased resolution, making it cut nicely with modern footage using the ubiquitous widescreen ratio. So what about sound? One of the modern features of the new Super 8 camera is an onboard sound recorder and external microphone connectivity. The Super 8 camera has an integrated SD card slot to record your sound, with file names matching the cartridges for easy syncing in post-production. There's also audio outputs so that you can check your sound levels over a 3.5mm headphone jack. And believe it or not, there's even a micro HDMI on the Super 8, which gives you an external view of the image that you normally get on the LCD. It's pretty wild seeing video assist functions on a Super 8 camera, as historically this had only been reserved for high-end cinema cameras. So, who exactly is this camera for? Simply put, beyond the marketing fluff, there really is nothing quite like shooting on 8mm film, and if you're seriously interested in giving it a shot, then the Kodak Super 8 is the most accessible, high-quality camera you can get. Yes, you can hunt for an old Super 8 camera, but it won't have the modern conveniences that the Kodak provides. The crystal sync makes syncing your audio for your film incredibly easy, the large battery ensures you can keep rolling on shots for as long as your film lasts, and the LCD screen and modern menu system make dialing in your settings easy and takes a ton of the guesswork out of making sure what you're shooting is properly exposed. Also, the camera comes with everything you need to get started, including a Pelican case, camera body and 6mm lens, pistol grip, battery and charger, a 50-foot roll of 8mm Tri-X film, and a cleaning cloth. But also keep in mind that depending on your frame rate, a single roll of film will get you about 3 minutes of video. And then, to get your digital copy of that film, you will need to send it out to a lab to get developed and scanned. Now, Kodak does provide a worldwide directory of all of the labs that can do this, but this should all be factored into the lifetime cost of the camera. But still, for production studios, wedding shooters, creative video producers, or any burgeoning analog filmmaker who wants to shoot 8mm film with modern tech conveniences, the Kodak Super 8 simply doesn't have any direct competition. But what are your thoughts on the Kodak Super 8 camera? Let us know in the comments below. Seriously, we do read them. I'm Nick with B&H. Stay creative.